After logging in, you will see the homepage of the self-service portal, with a number of buttons, so-called tiles, similar to what we use on the internet. The three most important tiles are on the top of the screen. Report a problem, ask a question, and submit a request. The first, report a problem. Sometimes things are not working as expected. It can be a problem with IT equipment like your laptop or a printer, an internet disruption, a light that is not working, or a water tap that is leaking. In this case, you can use the Report a Problem button. When you click the tile, you will get a small form. Only the fields with an asterisk are mandatory, but the more information you can provide, the better Service Desk can understand what and where the problem is and look for the solution. The top part, under Caller, has already been filled in with your details, so that's easy. Under your problem, we ask you to explain what the problem is about. The first question is to describe the problem in a few words, so it's clear what the topic is. Try to be clear and concise. For example, cannot connect to printer, internet not working, or laptop key broken. We ask you when the problem started, if you know. This may help us to find the cause of an issue. We then ask you to choose the category and the subcategory. Just choose whatever you think is best. Otherwise, you can leave this open. We then ask you for a more detailed description of the issue. This helps us to understand the problem as good as possible. And of course, we will contact you if we need more information. We then ask you how many people are impacted by the problem. Is it only you, or maybe your team, for example in case of a printer problem, or maybe the whole organization or a critical system like MoneyWorks? We also ask you how urgent the problem is, to understand with what priority we should follow up on your call. If the problem is about a certain device or asset, like a printer, computer or furniture, you can specify the asset ID. For example, if it's a printer or laptop problem, you can specify the asset ID which you can find on the equipment. It begins with UMN or MDT. You can also attach any relevant files, for example a screenshot of an error message or a picture if something is broken. When you have completed the form, you can press Submit to submit your call to Service Desk. You will now get a message that your problem was received with an incident number, a call number. From here you can go back to the homepage. Service Desk will now start working on your call and you will be informed about the progress. In the same way as reporting a problem, you can also ask a question. Also here, we ask you to fill in a few fields. You can also submit all kinds of requests using the Submit a Request button. You will now see tiles for different kinds of requests. Orange for IT related, dark blue for HR related, green for site management related, pink for communications team related, and UMN blue for other types of requests. Not everyone sees the same request though. It depends on the location you work. For some requests, you will need to provide a completed form and/or a charging code. For example, at the bottom, you may find a request for stationery supplies. If you or your team need stationery like notebooks, pens, paper or tape, you can go here. As it says, you will need to complete a stationery supplies request form, to which a link is provided. Please specify the urgency of your request and attach the completed request form. You will also need to provide a charging account for the stationery items. For corporate teams, the applicable charging account is mentioned already. Under the Report a Problem, Ask a Question and Submit a Request tiles, you see some color tiles which bring you to detailed information of some corporate teams. When you click them, you can find services these teams provide, together with relevant requests, tips and frequently asked questions called knowledge items. For example, when we open IT services and open the Office 365 service, here on the right side you find links to Report a Problem with Office 365 or Ask a Question about this service, but also links to related knowledge items such as how to change your password or how to set up my UMN email signature. But remember, you can also always submit your problems, questions and requests through the top 3 tiles of the home screen. Scrolling further down, under My Requests, you can find an overview of all the requests that you've submitted until now. You can choose to display only open requests, or closed requests, or all. Here you can check the status of your requests. Also more down you find My Assigned Assets. Most staff have received a laptop or other equipment to use for work purposes. Under My Assigned Assets, you can find which assets are currently on your name. When you should leave UMN, these are the assets that you are expected to hand back in. If you think the information displayed is not accurate, please contact Service Desk. In the knowledge base, you can find knowledge items. Answers to some common questions, for example on how to change your password or how to restore files that were deleted from a file share, like a Common Drive or Team Drive. Finally, on the bottom of the page there are a few more links to a phone book and the Office 365 login window, as well as to TeamViewer, which Service Desk can use to provide remote support when you have a problem with your computer and you're not in Tabatali office. The last topic that we cover mainly applies to line managers and budget holders. Some requests will first need approval of a line manager or budget holder before proceeding. For example, a request for hardware will first need approval from the applicable budget holder. On the left side, you may see pending requests awaiting your approval. You can choose Open Authorization Overview to see these requests. When you click a pending request, you will see the request details. On the right side, you can then either approve or reject the request. If you wish, you can add some comments or reason for your decision. And of course, when you first need more information, you can contact the requesting person first. After approving or rejecting, the request will be gone from your list. 2 final notes on this. You don't have to check every time in the self-service portal if there is a request waiting for your approval. If there is a new request for you to approve, you will get a notification through email. And the second one, not all requests where you need to provide a charging account will need approval before proceeding. Sometimes the budget holder just gets a notification by email that a certain request was made from which the costs will be charged to his or her account. For example, in the case of requests for supplies or a printer cartridge, there is no explicit approval beforehand. If you should have any questions, confusions or suggestions regarding the self-service portal, please do contact Service Desk. Be reminded that there is also a user manual about the self-service portal available on intranet. Thank you for your attention.